and today I want to share with you a cool little drill for chipping. So I've had a few questions about chipping and the consistency of strike and the loft on the club face. So a good drill I like to use for this is a one-arm chipping drill. So I ask people to chip with just their right arm. Now, if you can chip well with one arm, you have to control a couple of really important factors with your chipping action or chipping motion. So the first one is the setup position. So when you're setting up, obviously in a fairly decent setup position, like I'm sure most of you know about, there's many videos out there about this, then what I tend to see people doing, they've got too much lean on the shaft or not enough lean, and this can affect loft and the delivery of the club. So ideally we want the shaft and the arms to sit kind of roughly in the middle of the body like this, and this is going to give you a more consistent motion with the loft and with how your arms and the actual chipping action works. Now if we were just going to chip shots with one arm like this, you're going to have a really good control on the radius. Now the radius I'm referring to is the hand radius from the middle of the body. And again, I see a lot of people either getting too wide, which again is going to make it more difficult to get back to the ball in the right place, or perhaps too narrow. Again, this means you've got more things to change coming in. It's going to be less consistent to get this nice shallow approach coming into the chip shot, where we've got the sole of the club just kind of surfing the turf. So if we can keep the hand radius the same both sides of the chipping action, then it's much easier to get a consistent strike and delivery of the golf club. So the other thing this will help you get really good in the swing or good in the chipping action is the loft. Again, we just want to keep the same loft that's on it at the start throughout the chipping action. I see a lot of people either opening it or closing it too much. Now, if I just hit a couple of small shots for you to show you this. So we just get the right arm set up in the middle of the body, a good chipping stance. I'm just going to make a small motion, chip a few on. Now, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to keep my radius of my arm really accurate, and I've got to keep my wrist stable. So again, through chipping, you see a lot of bad chippers tend to either flick too much, or maybe even try and drive the handle forward too much, and then the leading edge starts to dig. Again, this is going to perhaps deal off the face and give you some of those fiery chip shots that are hard to actually control. So as I'm hitting these shots here, I'm just trying to move the club back and forth, keeping the radius the same. I'm just moving the handle back and forth, and then I'm just letting my body move a little bit with it as well. So the loft is staying consistent on the face, my wrists are consistent, and the delivery of club is very consistent. You can see here I'm not taking too much turf, there's just a light interaction or surfing the turf here, which is really crucial. Most of the chip shots have turned out pretty good. So if you're struggling with chipping and you perhaps notice maybe your wrists are a bit too active, or you end up in a fully positioned body-wise after you've hit your chip shot, try hitting a few just right arm chip shots like this, moving it back and forth in a simple fashion. Now if you can do this correctly, you're going to have good control of a few things in your chipping action, and you should be able to produce some really good consistent chips. Okay, I hope this video helps you. Any questions, please fire those in, and feel free to share this with your friends.